Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today I'm going to talk about Corsair Stock. And if you've clicked on this video, I'm pretty sure you know what happened yesterday with Corsair Stock. The stock had a pretty good day. It was up over 10%. At one point it was even higher than that. Yeah, very good day with Corsair, and as I'm recording this video pre-market, the stock is currently up something like 5%. I'm pretty sure when this actually all gets edited and I do the screenshot, I'll probably look at it because it'll either be higher or lower than that. But yeah, even in pre-market, the stock is starting to rally a little bit, and because of the stock market being, because of Corsair Stock being on a very good run, one of the big massive questions I got yesterday, or flooded with questions, was when will I sell Corsair Stock? So today I thought I'd give you guys this video and kind of say my plan, what I do currently have with Corsair Stock. So if you could smash the like button if you're new as well and you find this video helpful, please subscribe. But yeah, just on the side note, like, how quickly did my portfolio review yesterday go out of date? Like, I think I recorded it sometime in the morning, I think it was, like 7 a.m. ish, and then by the time it got uploaded, I filmed it, edited, uploaded it like, I think it was like 5 o'clock. Like, my Corsair position was down like 2% at 7 a.m. and now we're up like quite a fair bit on the position. So just shows you how quickly things can go out of date on the stock market. This is why I don't like doing, this is the thing when you're like a content creator, you can literally like make 2 videos, like do Tuesday's video, Wednesday video, but by the time you get to Wednesday's video, that can be really out of date so quick. The amount of times I've filmed something and it's gone out of date and like, oh, I've just wasted like so many hours of my life. It's crazy how quick the stock market moves. But yeah, just a little thing on that, I guess. And also a thank you to Wall Street Bets. Thank you for pushing up my stock that I own. So we'll see exactly how long that carries on for as well. But obviously, you know, we cannot play this like in the Wall Street Bets kind of thing. This is actually a company that I think is a really good company, and I'm actually playing this for the long term, as many of you guys that have been following my channel or follow me investing into this channel know as well. So yeah, we'll get on to everything with Corsair now. But if you do want to know when I do actually sell Corsair, make sure you join my Patreon. The link is in the description. I always post when I'm buying and selling in real time on there. And also there is a private live stream that's just gone up there, and also we're doing a portfolio review. We do about 2 exclusive videos a week on there. Actually this week there's going to be 3, so even more return, I guess, on that Patreon, I guess. And it's only £5 a month as well, so what's on there I think is amazing for £5 a month, and I'm trying not to be biased there. But anyway, let's get stuck into Corsair Stock. So first of all, I just want to talk about the company, and then I'm going to talk about when I'm going to sell. So if you don't want to hear this bit, just skip a little bit further forward on the video. But first of all, the reason why I got into this company is I think it's a great growth company. Like, obviously the CV situation has helped it amazing. It's never going to put in them numbers again, but realistically this company is probably going to grow at like a 10% revenue rate, maybe even a little bit more than that. We'll have to see how the numbers play out after CV. That will be the best ideas we get, which is probably in the next quarter we get a better suggestion on how we're doing. But Q1 was absolutely amazing, and yeah, the growth from this company is fantastic. So you're picking up a decent growth company. They're also putting in decent amounts of profit right now as well, and with that profit, obviously that's going to sit on the balance sheet, which is probably the only one thing that I would like them to really improve on. So that's all amazing. So yeah, first of all, like, the big difference here between what a lot of other companies Wall Street Bets have gone for is that I bought this one for like a long-term growth. I think it's an amazing company, great revenue growth, and also the profit growth's been pretty good as well. And also the big thing that attracted me into this company was the valuation. I bought this company about 3 months ago. When I looked at the valuation, this is current numbers, so it was actually even cheaper than this like yesterday. So right now it's currently trading at a 23p ratio. I think like yesterday it was something like a 19 or something, and a 17 forward p ratio. And like I said, I think yesterday it was about 15p ratio, and that's about where I was break even on the company. So yeah, overall, like, the valuation, what you're paying for this company and the growth it has was absolutely fantastic, and that's why I bought into this company. Like, this is a gaming company, and people are a little bit worried about it's a fresh company that's come onto the stock market. People are worried that the slowdown in gaming because of the CV situation might affect this company. In my opinion, you know, Corsair has so many amazing brands. It owns the Elgato brand. It's just brought the gaming Sensei brand as well. I think the gaming brands that it has are absolutely amazing. I think that the gaming in general, sure, it might have had a bit of a boom, but it's still going to grow absolutely huge. Like, I was actually talking, I can't even remember who it was, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I said it's crazy because, like, when a few years ago when you were growing up, if you talk to some people, you'd be like, oh, who do you want to be when you're older? And it's like, oh, you know, Tom Cruise, or Lionel Messi, or Cristiano Ronaldo. But if you actually ask like kids these days, like who they want to be when they grow up. They want to be like Dan TDM and like Ninja, and it's like just crazy how big this gaming is now. Like this is mainstream, and this will continue to grow. And as it continues to grow, the new parts that come out, the upcycle that will happen, there's always new gamers coming in. The whole gaming sector, in my opinion, will just carry on growing and growing and growing. And when you look at companies that are going to benefit from that, Turtle Beach, obviously, which is another investment, Logitech, Corsair, but Corsair, you're just getting so many brands that are amazing, and the products are amazing as well. So in my opinion, I'm just picking up an amazing company here at a really good valuation. The only little thing that I do have that always weighs on it is that we are kind of still in an IPO phase. So the thing is, this stock recently came onto the stock market, and when it recently comes onto the stock market, what you tend to happen is a lot of people will, after a while, will sell out the company and take some profit that might be in early investors or got involved in the IPO. Now we are actually past the lockup period, but I still think one thing that, and you probably saw this the other day, is management actually released a lot of shares. They sold a lot of shares. I think one of the big things that management have here is they're probably going to sell off a lot of shares, and as management keeps selling off shares, that might pin the price back a little bit. And you might have saw that the other day, like the stock, I think it was last week, it dropped like 5% on a day or something, and that was because of the one of the insiders selling a lot of shares. So I think that still might play on the company a little bit over the next kind of 6-12 months, and it might level out for a little bit. But obviously, this kind of Wall Street bets thing has kind of changed what we have for this company right now. So I guess this kind of comes to the point of view, like, okay, when am I actually going to sell this company? Because that is, for me, I think it's a great company. I think it was a great valuation. And as always, when I go into buying a company, as many of you guys know that have been following the channel for a long time, I always buy a company for 2 to 5 years. When I buy a company, I look at that company and go, okay, what's it going to do in the next 2 to 5 years? That's what I judge it off. In them 2 to 5 years, I always go, I want to get 100% return. 100% return for me is you are being a bit aggressive there, but I like being aggressive because I'm quite young, and I want to try and get really good returns. And it's what I always try and get over a 20% return every year. It's what I've always achieved in the stock market. And if worst case scenario, over 5 years I make 100% return, that's still a 20% return a year, which is still pretty good. I will take 20% return a year for sure. So yeah, that's the worst case scenario. But if I can get 100% return in 2 years, that's when I kind of hit some home runs. And every so often that can happen. It's amazing when it does happen. The likes of Revolve, the likes of InMode. I mean, even like Turtle Beach is now like up 90%. There's a fair few companies. You guys that have watched the videos for a long time, you could probably name. I'm just trying to think them all off the head, but I'm sure you guys kind of know all that sort of stuff. But for me, I buy a company, I want to get 100% return in 2 to 5 years. So I've kind of drawn a little chart out here. Apologise to you guys, because when I probably go to edit this, you guys on here, it might be pretty small writing for you guys. But here, I put here $32, so that's where my average is right now. And I bought this about 3 months ago, as a lot of you guys know. So on here I put 2 years to 5 years. So this is where the range that I would like to sell it ideally. Now, if I was to get in 2 years, $64, that's where my target is, and that's where I'd be very happy to maybe consider selling. My thing is that if I hold it for 5 years, I think I could get around to $90 to $100, and that's where I'd sell out of here. So it all comes into like a certain time frame about where this price gets to. Because if you give me 100% return in 2 years, I could be very tempted to sell, because it's got there very quickly. I could sell it, and if it ever got to $64 before it, I'd be definitely tempted to sell. To get to 100% return, $64 in under 2 years would be absolutely amazing. That's way before my target, and I would sell. My other thing is that if in 5 years' time, is that the thing is if it didn't get to $64 and it stayed at $32 and it went even longer than that, the thing is what always happens, and what you got to remember is that if it stays at $32 in 2 years' time and I still own that, sure, the stock hasn't performed that well, but what will happen is in the next 2 years is Corsair's revenue growth and profit growth will carry on growing, and because of that, the valuation will go cheaper and cheaper. So it might be $32, but where we look at this here, the company probably then would be like a like a 17p ratio and maybe like a 13 forward P ratio. So the valuation would go lower, and over them 2 years I'd actually buy, and then I'd be thinking, okay, 5 years down the line I could actually probably make $90, $100, and that's where I see it going. So this kind of price target just depends on how the stock performs. You give me $64 before 2 years, I'll probably take it. $32 if we kind of if it stays at $32 and I'm 2 years in, I'm going to hold that even longer to there and make over 150, 200% return. So that's kind of just how it plays out, and that's kind of how sometimes I work numbers off a little bit, so it kind of gives you a little bit of insight. Now when it comes to selling, like I say, my price target in 2 years, if I get $64, I'll be very happy, and if I get $64 in 2 years, I'll probably sell. And that's the same here right now. If you give me what I'm expecting, $64 in 2 years, if you give me that right now, I'm probably going to sell it. So when it comes to selling, if this Corsair at the moment goes to $64, I will sell, because I basically got what I expect in 2 years within 3 months, and I've just hit a home run, and I'm going to sell it and I'm going to go somewhere else. It also comes down to as well a little bit as well is like just the sudden jump. So if you kind of offer me like in a week's time, maybe $48, I could potentially sell it around $48, because that would give me a 50% return within 3 months of holding. And that would be, I would expect that, if you kind of work off the same numbers in about a year's time. So to get 50% return in 3 months, I would be very happy with that. And I would be very tempted to sell at probably $48. So for me, I would sell at 64. At 48, you start entering the category of where I maybe will sell. So that's where I'm kind of thinking, because a 50% return in 3 months is pretty good going. And one thing that I would also take into consideration with this company as well is what's caused the 50% jump. Is the 50% jump because investors have been buying slowly? Wall Street has kind of, woken up to this stock and started buying a little bit. No, this whole jump that we have at the moment is down to Wall Street bets. And as an investor, I have no idea where they're going to stop buying. I have no idea where they'll start selling. I just don't know. And this is the thing, is like this is the hard thing, is like in long-term investors, we're entering at the moment a space where I'm not really sure what's going to happen. And I've just got to play it at my kind of view of like, where would I be happy to take my return? So with Wall Street bets coming in, I don't know where it'll go up to, I don't know where it will stop. But from a long-term hold, from my point of view, the thing as well is like I say, this whole Wall Street bets thing is just a very quick jump. Like this is an unnatural jump, and that's where I'm also very cautious. And I think that after a while it could calm down, and then if it was to drop down to maybe like 35, I could buy back in or something. So for me, because it's an unnatural jump at the moment, I am being very cautious, and like I say, maybe 48 to 64 is definitely where I would sell. So that's where I'm kind of considering where I'll jump out of this one. We'll see exactly what happens, but like I say, the big thing at the moment is like it's an unnatural jump. Like this is, if it was to go up 50%, it was an unnatural jump that's happened. Now, one argument I have seen is that this here, the Wall Street bets, this could generally like take this stock up to crazy valuations. Like this is the unside of it. I said that if it was to go up 50%, that's a pretty unnatural jump. I'll probably take my profit. But the also a thing you got to be really careful of is that Corsair is like a $3 billion company. I think GameStop is at least above 10. I believe AMC is above 10 billion market caps. So this company is, it's quite a small company. This is a very easy stock for Wall Street bets to actually keep going up. Until you get to like a 10 billion market cap, then you might struggle a little bit more to keep pushing this stock up. But while this is a small market cap company, Wall Street bets could easily push this up to 48, 64, maybe towards 90, $100. It's actually really achievable. At $90, $100, you're talking, like a just below a 10 billion company. Then it gets a little bit tricky for Wall Street bets to pump it up. So that's where the point is, where it would be very difficult. So even though I'm considering this, I'm also being very cautious, because it's very easy to go up to here. After this point, I think they would struggle a little bit. But while it's this sort of valuation, that's where I do consider, and like I say, it's one that I'm watching very close at the moment. And like I say, it looks like it could continue today, but at the moment that's kind of numbers that I'm running through my head, and those were the numbers I was kind of, when I buy a company, I always have a book that I write down the company, why I like it, why I'm buying, and where I would sell in 2 to 5 years time, so that when I get down 2 to 5 years time, then it comes down to selling a stock, I look at my notes and think it kind of keeps you in check where you were at. And when I did Corsair, this is like my current notes on Corsair, is that when I bought 3 months ago, I said I would take somewhere between $64 to about $90 to $100, and that's where I'd be happy to sell. So I hope that video was useful for you guys. As always, you can smash the like button, comment down below, let me know what y'all think about Corsair stock. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.